Hi, my name is Tressa.
And my name is Christian.
And welcome to StartupBREW Fargo podcast. StartupBREW is a weekly event hosted by Emerging Prairie in downtown Fargo, where we believe entrepreneurship is energized over brews. Each week, we bring entrepreneurs, founders, and innovators together because we believe they succeed when they have access to each other and the community that supports them. This summer, StartupBREW will occur each Wednesday morning at Drecker Brewing.
This week, we welcome Joe Wright, who is founder and CEO of Right Foot, and Jay Evans, who is CEO and founder of Off Color Media.
Joe and Jay?
Yes, Tressa, Joe and Jay. Don't get it mixed up.
Well, beginning with Joe. It is almost impossible to not find him wearing wild socks. This fun hobby inspired him to follow his passion for entrepreneurship and create his own sock brand. Right Foot is a sock company that strives to add just a little bit of spice to the sock drawer. Joe uses media to promote their socks and has actually gone viral a handful of times. Joe's quirky socks range from pizza and beards to dino s'more. Let's listen to what Joe had to say.
You guys make me blush. I had to take off my cool sunglasses now because, that. I also sell these, so fun fact. Like Jenny said, my name is Joe Wright. I'm from Leonard, North Dakota, and I sell socks. The usual. I'm going to give you a little brief history about Right Foot, a little bit of history about me, and then I'm going to jump into more of the branding of what I wanted with Right Foot, where it came, where it started, all that fun stuff. So, I'm from Leonard, North Dakota, went to VCSU for communications. When I graduated, like she said, no idea what I wanted to do. No idea. I didn't really know the word entrepreneur at the time. I also don't know how to spell entrepreneur. It's a tough word. When I left Valley City, my sister was like, why don't you try substitute teaching, try your para. So then I had enough credits in music because that's what I was going to do. Didn't love it. Then I did teach music. Love music. I dig the little kids, but teaching music to kids, not my jam. When 2020 came, and that whole COVID thing that shut everything down, that's when I thought it would be a good time to do a small business full time. Fantastic idea. My parents were terrified, but the support I had from my family and from my friends and from my girlfriend, it worked out. Now I've been able to do it for 2 years full time. A big part of that is a social media presence that I've created for Right Foot. I luckily had a TikTok in January of 2021 go viral. I had 7 million views, generated 500 orders in 24 hours. I then took that video and took it to Instagram. That Instagram got about 5 million and generated up to 44,000 followers on Instagram. So now that following that brand is solidified on both platforms, which has been really nice. Really helped me grow. When I started thinking about what kind of business I wanted to start, in college I started wearing fun socks, became that guy, the fun sock guy, the normal things. And looking back, it kind of made sense that I wanted to start something on my own. I had little plans when I was a kid. So then one morning I finally woke up. I was like, hey, your last name's Wright. Right Foot's pretty cool. That's a cool name. Not the first name I came up with. I had monkey toe socks. That sucked. I didn't like it. Right Foot clicked. I was like, well, hey, there you go. So when I started my business, what I like to do is creep. So I crept on all the sock companies I could find, like Socksmith, Happy Socks, Stance. Saw what they did, what I liked about them, what I didn't like about them. So Stance, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about Stance. They're very much licensing, like the Cheetos. They have famous people on their socks, all that cool stuff. Happy Socks is a Swedish one that's very much patterns. So I wanted to find my niche, and that's a lot of what brand is. When you think about brand, you think about naming, you think about colors, all that fun stuff. But I like to also think of personality. I like to think of your niche, what sets you apart from other businesses. So why should someone buy my socks rather than their socks? And that's when I found an opportunity when I was creeping, because I'm a creep, is that they're pretty boring with their names. So if there's a sloth sock on their website, they name it sloth sock. Cool, no big deal. Or if they have a gorilla sock, it's gorilla sock. I thought, hey, it's already a quirky thing that you sell. Let's just drive it home with the names. So when I did start, my manufacturer had just very generic socks that I kind of selected from a catalog. But I saw the opportunity to give them fun names. So I started with a crown sock, and I call it Floaty Crowny Things for all my Fairy Lab parents fans out there, if you get that. I also had a pineapple sock called Apple Pine. So it was a very small thing, but it gave a little more life to the sock brand, give it a little more attitude. And then finally, I found my home in the puns. And that's where Right Foot completely took off. My first pun was outer space. I have 2 cute little otters floating in space. It's adorable. Back there's some stickers. Oh, do I have Vanna Whites? Yeah, outer space. It's really hard to see that far. I should have brought bigger stickers. Bummer. After outer space came pork chop, couch potato, moustache. I have one called Flipping the Bird. It's a really sassy pigeon giving you the bird. Currently wearing it. He's sassy. This works. So that's where I really kind of found my niche, why people should buy my socks rather than other people's socks, is the puns. So the brand is puns, but the bigger brand of the personality of Right Foot is very silly, goofy, wholesome, and I try to keep that going with my social medias. So if you look at my TikTok, my Instagram, it's very bright, colorful, whimsical. Don't take yourself serious, because I can't take myself serious. I sell socks. It's not a serious thing. The whole feel of Right Foot is very whimsical, and that's the consistency of that branding is ideal for when you're trying to grow on social media. With the background, the colors, creating that presence is very important when you're trying to grow on social media, because social media is a tough game, very competitive, but luckily I did find that niche, so it really helped to grow Right Foot to that. The puns, the colors, all that fun stuff. I'm running out of things to say. I've been practicing, I swear, but now I'm running out of stuff to say, I think. Everything's fine. But yeah, it's been a fun journey. Like you said, I've been doing it full-time for 2 years, which is terrifying, especially when you try to do it when COVID hit. But luckily, I've been able to set myself apart with branding. This is Dino Snore. I have a bigger one. There we go. You can actually see that. Sweet. Are we good on time? Okay, cool. Felt like I talked in a circle, but everything's fine. It's cool.
On to our next founder. Jay Evans is the CEO and owner of Off Color Media. From the beginning, Jay knew he wanted to use his creativity and optimism to go beyond the classic American dream. Originally, Jay planned to create a fitness YouTube channel. However, Jay's dream grew to something more, an international business plan. Jay created Off Color Media, a company that uses creativity to produce content for businesses. They support a variety of businesses, ranging from startups to Fortune 500 companies. Through the struggles of founding a business, Jay has always looked at the bright side and enjoys celebrating the wins of Off Color Media. Let's listen to what Jay had to say.
Who remembers taking those awful elementary and middle school photos? My God, your neck was cranked so freaking far you thought it was gonna snap. And worst of all, you felt like you were a pig in line at a slaughterhouse. Thank you, Patrick Metzger, for that beautiful demonstration. Okay, isn't it awful when things just don't feel like they're built for you? Okay, so maybe you're homeschooled, maybe you didn't have the awesome pleasure of those awful school photos. I'm seeing in the crowd, everyone's wearing a shirt right now, right? So maybe you bought a shirt that just didn't feel like it fit right. Or I'll admit, who here also shopped at Abercrombie & Fitch? Raise your hands, raise your hands. Do you remember when you bought that shirt and you got home and it was a completely different color than you thought it was in the store? What was up with that vibe in there? It was some sort of like weird jungle safari nightclub. You felt like you had to have one of those headlamps on from REI. God, that place was awful. Also, I'm pretty sure their owner was not great. But, okay, so maybe you had the car. You had that new car, that new used car, new to you. You drove off the lot, and it just didn't smell right no matter how many of those air fresheners that you had bought. Or as soon as you drove off the lot, it started having that clanking sound. Or I think we all can imagine now, it's fall, it's crisp, it's autumn, maybe you have your favorite sweater on, and you have that new holiday Starbucks drink in your hand. And you take that first sip and realize, God, that pumpkin spice latte is not for me. Sorry for people that do enjoy those. Or the topic that's nearest and dearest to my heart is how you're guided through your marketing and storytelling strategy. So recently I learned that I was actually a little bit like that awful school portrait photographer when I was first starting out and I got my first major opportunity to go on tour with hip-hop artist NF. So let's rewind back to 2018, okay? So same Jay, back in 2018, I'm hustling. I'm slinging burgers at Sicky's in East Grand Forks. I'm working at Cenex part-time, so I'm hustling 60 hours a week, just a broke 23-year-old. I think we've all been there. And I get this amazing opportunity to go on tour with NF. So through some amazing connections that I had made, I'm about to hop on this tour. I'm going from broke 23-year-old college kid to going on tour with NF now, going 60 days. We're doing 45 shows in those 2 months, spanning across the entire US and Canada. So I'm about to hop on this tour. I'm about to live on this tour bus for 2 months. Like, I'm freaking out. Like, literally my dreams have come true. I think most 23-year-old kids going from serving tables to go on tour, dreams come true, right? So fast forward a little bit, 2 months passed, I survived. I survived the tour, I crushed it. It was so amazing. I learned so many things about myself, about NF, about Capitol Records, about how to deal with high-end clientele. And now I come back to Grand Forks, and I think, oh my God, I literally won. I won video production. I'm literally the greatest of all time, right? Holy crap. These businesses are going to just water at their mouth, just waiting to work with me, right? So I'm 24 at the time, right? And I get back, and wow, am I wrong? None of them gave a flying crap about what I had accomplished and what I had just done. So I was wrong. I went about it the wrong way. And this is how I was the awful school portrait photographer. I went around thinking that because of my accomplishments, all of these businesses are going to want to work with me without me even knowing who they are or what they do or how I can learn from them and then craft a solution, right? So I went about sending cold emails to marketing execs, owners, directors, and saying, hey, look at all these cool things that I just did on this tour and how you can work with me. But I will say the ones that did get back to me and help me grow, I am thankful for that. So, okay, we're fast forwarding. We're 2022, present day, we're Jay right now, we're at Drucker, we're at StartupBREW, we're having a good time. So after working with solopreneurs, small, medium, large, and Fortune 500 businesses, what have I learned in the last 3 years? I've learned that having relationships and meaningful conversations is everything within businesses. You have to be able to sit down with owners and learn about their business as well as they do, if not better. So it's being able to have those candid conversations about growth, opportunities, roadblocks, all the things that really matter in a business, not just about what you can provide to them. I'm Jay Evans. I'm the owner of Off Color Media, a video production company that's bringing a new level of creativity to our community and beyond. Thank you.
After the presentation, we jumped into a live Q&A session with the audience, joined by our host, Jenny Sheets from the Emerging Prairie team. Let's listen in.
All right, let's kick it off with something positive. I want to know a win you guys are celebrating lately. What's a success that you can share with us?
Ian, stand up. Ian Harmon is our brand new project manager that we just hired on as of last night. Give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause. He is going to save my life. Thank you, Ian.
A new hire means all the difference. Awesome.
Yes.
Welcome to the team. Joe, what about you?
My 2 hires are my cats currently, but right, they're doing the best they can. So
I pay the bills.
Exactly. My success is that right now I'm in the runnings to be on a TV show. Wild, right? So last Monday I gave a pitch to 12 executives from Disney, Walmart, Sam's Club. I've currently sent them samples, so I'm waiting to hear back about that. It should be hopefully in the next week or 2 I can actually find out if it's gonna be a thing. So look out.
Celebrity status. This is awesome.
I sell socks.
Nice work. I love it. Well, I've got some questions, but let's open it up to you guys first. Eric in the back. Oh, are you concerned that Jay is not wearing socks?
They're no-show.
No shows. What are your thoughts on no-show socks?
I was
We're
gonna
friends. We're friends, remember?
It's a pretty bold friend term there.
New friendly acquaintances.
Yes, we're acquaintances. We'll see about the socks. I was gonna mention something, but I just met the guy, so I was like,
I don't blame you. It's okay. I mean, he's got the shoes to make up for it.
That's
so that's all
There's
right.
style there. It's
We'll
just your
introduce you
ankles
to
are
higher
you.
socks later.
deal.
All right. Yes, Toby. Ooh, where do you sell your socks, and what are your retail goals?
I'm very much dependent on online currently. that's been my whole market with social media, but I'm starting more wholesale. I'm in Halberstadt currently. I have one in Kentucky, another one in a couple in North Dakota, and a few others. I'm working on that wholesale more, but online is very much my bread and butter with the social media. So,
Awesome, right over here. Oh, how do you keep up with the ever-changing TikTok algorithm? I told you I can't do this. I don't even know what TikTok is.
It's
It's not
exhausting.
Tic Tacs, you guys.
no, it's
They're
not that fun candy.
No.
That's what I thought.
How do you keep up?
It's exhausting, especially doing it by myself. Like, I'm the one that has to be on TikTok for like hours. I mean, it's not hard work. You're just consuming content. But I've seen that when you can hop on a trend really fast, it's very beneficial. But it's that just putting in the time, the hours of like scrolling. I do a lot of creeping, like I said before. I'm a big old creep. I creep on the other small businesses that had success, and then I don't reinvent the wheel. I kind of use their outline of what they did in that video, let's say, and can kind of repurpose it for Right Foot. And there's some tried and true TikToks that I make over and over again that tend to get 10K plus every time. But it's doing that experimentation too of like, maybe this video will work. And that's the nice thing about TikTok. You can post as much as you want. But that's another thing, like if you post too much, that might hurt your analytics. It's just kind of doing what you can, testing new things and finding that perfect amount of posting and the look you want, and it's exhausting.
Jay, are you guys on social at all with clients?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, right now, I think everyone in North Dakota is going through the same problems of workforce recruitment. So I would say like LinkedIn and Facebook probably where our bread and butter is. We do have a client like Sadie's Donuts where, Instagram and probably TikTok would probably do best for something like that that says product versus a service-based company.
Yeah. Awesome. It's right over here. What's been your biggest learning experience? Oh. Is that a nice way of asking what's your biggest failure? Take it however you want.
Sure. I would say my biggest learning experience is that things happen for you. So back in 2019, we actually had gotten the contract for WeFest and 3 other of the largest country music festivals in the world. It was when Town Square Media Group had owned it, and little did we know that they were selling it to Live Nation probably for the last 6 to 8 months, and they defaulted on the contract less than a month before the first festival. But amazingly, we were trying to grow into an event recap company that did, Coachella, EDC, all the big ones. So we're in May of 2019. Let's fast forward to March of 2020. If I imagine that I'd kept with that, I would have been absolutely screwed during COVID. So the biggest thing I've learned in business is that things happen for you, and you take the losses and learn from them, and they become wins in the future.
That's great advice. You just have to open your eyes to potential opportunity and be prepared for it. Great advice. What about you, Joe?
My biggest learning curve was inventory. After I went viral on TikTok, I couldn't sell for like a few months because my manufacturer is currently overseas and they're on Chinese New Year's, so I didn't have product for months. So keeping track of that inventory, making sure I have a good amount of my best sellers, and then being able to sprinkle in like the new stuff I want to try out. That was a big learning curve. But I like what you said. It's kind of like creating your own luck and like building with it, growing with it. I like it. I think
Great question. Okay. Ooh, being creative, being an entrepreneur. How do you stay authentic to your brand?
I'll answer this one first. So our beautiful portrait photographer, Patrick Metzger here, does more than just act and be handsome. Patrick Metzger is an EOS implementer, and the biggest core thing that I will say that has kept me authentic to my values and my brand and who we are is going through EOS with Patrick Metzger and figuring out what your core values really are and then sticking to those things. That's how you hire and fire your employees, and it's your clients as well too. So no matter what you do, you think about, is this content or is this client or is this shoot or is this event aligning with those core values? And if they're not, you don't do it.
I like having a good support system, kind of keeping you grounded. Girlfriend's super supportive. I have fantastic friends. One's here. Hey, cutie. My mentor's here, Dell, fantastic. Just having that really supportive, knowing where you're from, having that nice community is fantastic. And not taking myself seriously because, like, I sell socks.
I want to expand on that. So authenticity. So great question, because both of you kind of touched on it. So Joe, I mean, you talk about getting into the world of puns and that you could set yourself apart because you liked this made you happy, you enjoyed it. Jay, you said you came in like a wrecking ball just thinking that businesses were just going to come flocking to you, right? And they didn't because you had to get to know them. You had to be authentic and listen. How do you maintain that? I guess like Jay first, like what's your process for getting to know a client and listening?
For sure. I mean, it's just like dating. I know my team members hate these analogies that I make almost every single day. But imagine you're on a first date, right? And you sit down and maybe it's your dream date, and you sit down and all they do is just talk about themselves for the whole hour. I mean, how exhausting is that? Like, doesn't matter if they've won an Emmy and a Grammy and they've met Barack Obama and they're friends with LeBron James. It doesn't matter.
That would matter to me.
It's boring. or maybe they've met Joe. That's pretty cool, right? Or you sit there and you listen and it just sucks the energy out of you. The most interesting person in the room is the person that talks the least amount. So you need to be the person that, again, guides them through the conversation because you can't do business with anybody that you don't trust and are not borderline friends with. We're friends now, right? We're working on it. We're working on it. So I would say, yeah, I mean, take it like a date. If you want to be interesting, talk the least amount, learn, ask, and pry and poke, and people want to be guided. Most times people don't know what the process is of SOX or at a speaking engagement. But I felt really comfortable about this because Jenny walked me through the process. So now I understand what to expect, and I also value what's going to happen here. So now I've invested my time into being here, and it's been awesome. So now I value everything that's happening here, and I'm much more pliable to go along with the business and the suggestions that Jenny would make.
That's great. Getting somebody engaged through trust, walking them through expectations, value, that's awesome. And Joe, I know that you're putting that into your brand as well. And how do you remain authentic? How do you keep your puns and your brand through? I mean, TikTok's always changing, and there could be another trend that could derail you. Like, how do you stay true?
It's
tough one.
Being myself as best I can. Knowing I really don't try to take myself seriously, and sometimes I do. One day I'm like, oh, I'm not selling enough socks. I'm like, you're selling socks for a living. Like, I get to make puns for a living, get to work with cool people for a living. So just trying to keep myself in that mindset of like, hey, it's socks, take it easy, and just kind of go with it.
Be
Does that
kind to
make
yourself.
sense? Be kind to yourself. That's huge. Like,
right.
that negative self can start creeping in, but as long as you're true to yourself, have a good support system. My support system is insane. The small business people I've met, like Ibby, Waffle Guy, there he is. I met Elizabeth 2 weeks ago. We're going to collab on something. It's going to be fantastic.
Ooh, artist collaboration.
Super excited.
Very
cool.
cool.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being as true to yourself as you possibly can. It's exhausting. And especially like because entrepreneurship can be kind of a lonely world. It sounds awful, but like I have the support system, but at the end of the day, it's me that has to make that money come in to make.
It is. You're a founder.
It can be lonely. So the support system is the world to me. So
it's so true. We preach that all the time to our founders, is that it can be lonely. You can isolate very easily. So find those people, right, and stay true to yourself, to your brand, because that's going to keep you going. You have to know your why. Because those days that suck where you're like, I'm not selling enough socks, I didn't get enough clients, if you don't know your why, it's going to be easier to quit, right? Yeah. Probably have time for one or two more questions. Yeah, Les. Great question. Being an entrepreneur is stressful. So what are you doing to improve your mental health of yourself and your team?
I give my team a lot of treats.
His
They're my
team
two
of
cats. My two cats, Sebastian and Moxie. They get a lot of treats, and I pet them a lot for my mental health, so it's a win-win. But being nice to myself is something that my whole mental health thing is something I've been really working on for myself. Being nice to myself, taking the breaks, not taking myself too seriously. Again, I sell socks with dinosaurs and otters on them. But that's something I've really tried to work on, taking a little time for me, knowing that it's okay to have the slower days. But as long as you're putting in something that's going to help you in the future, as long as you're making that one phone call, you're posting that piece of content, you're trying to better yourself as a human and better yourself as a small business owner, as long as you can make those little goals, those little wins, check that one thing off your bucket list, not the bucket list, check that one thing off your to-do list, like as long as you're making some kind of progress, keeping the ball rolling, because once that ball stops, it's kind of hard to get pushing again. But
keep a momentum, that's good.
momentum's
Yeah.
huge.
Jay, what about you? How are you staying healthy?
Yeah, no, great question. I think your company's only as strong as your weakest link, but it's really your leader, right? So my approach is with video production and every single person that comes on our team. The first thing we do is try to get them to the highest level that they can be as just a human being. That doesn't mean video production. That doesn't mean anything within media. That means how can we get you to be the most confident and charismatic and outgoing person possible. So for myself, it's waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym every single day.
Wow.
I mean, entrepreneurship. It sucks. Most of the time, it's super hard. It's the hardest thing I've done. I'm only 28. There's a lot of harder things I'm going to experience, but it's tough. But if you can't do something that sucks every single day, you're not going to be hardened enough to take on the challenges of we lose a client, we lose a team member. Maybe my mom gets sick and dies, and I have to work through that because my team is reliant on me, and so are our clients. So the biggest thing that I'm doing is making sure that I'm mentally as hard as I can possibly be. And although the gym is something that's physical, it's all about mental. So it's making sure that I'm as hard and as much fortitude as I can have, and then obviously relaying that back to my team and passing off those life skills as well too.
That's awesome. Really healthy discipline. That's great. What is it? Is it Mike Tyson that said, "Do what you hate, but do it like you love it"? I'm trying to remember that. That would be me at 4 a.m. at the gym. I don't even think I could love it. So I admire you. That is great. All right, we probably have time for one more question. Emma. Oh, that's a great question. Okay, TikTok is extremely daunting, especially to a small business owner. You have a lot to do, right? How do you start? And this could help a lot of e-commerce businesses, especially in North Dakota. So where do you recommend somebody starts?
Creep. Stalk the people who are also in your niche, in your industry. There's not a lot of stock companies on TikTok, so that's a little different, but go creeping as much as you can. Look at what works. Find the people who have that following and see kind of like their outline of what they do. And don't be afraid to recycle that content, shape it for your own, because it is daunting. There's so many people on TikTok. Holy moly. So many small businesses, but if you're not on the TikTok, there's just so much potential with TikTok that, I got 7 million views on one video that took me maybe 5 minutes to record. And it generated 500 sales plus, and now I have just about 250,000 followers. If you're not
the ROI
on
was worth
TikTok,
it.
yeah,
5 minutes of work.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Right.
Maybe 10. I don't know. It took me a while to type it out, I guess, but so worth it because one video can change your life. Suddenly, right foot is right foot. People actually know right foot. People come up to me and ask about right foot. Incredible. So just it's tough to find that niche, but just putting in the time and the effort to find people who are similar to what you're doing and just recycling it. Don't steal it. I've had people steal my content, which is lame. Actually, my face. They used my own video.
Wow,
it
that's
was
complimentary.
dumb. A little bit. It was dumb.
They liked you so much they wanted your face.
They wanted my face.
Wow, that's
look
good.
at
That's
it.
good marketing.
Stop. But yeah, finding your niche, creep, just creep.
Lots of research.
Lots of research.
Lots of good
Lots
free
watching.
research. Jay,
Oh
like
my
you said,
gosh,
you
yeah.
used YouTube University, right?
Oh yeah, when I was first starting out, so I didn't finish college. I was always going to school for marketing and advertising, and I just started on YouTube. And I'll be honest, YouTube gets you so far, but I've learned so many things, and it got me to guide me to my mentors that I now work with and learn from. Everything is out there. Every single piece of information that anybody could ever want or need to learn is on the internet. All you have to do is type in this magical thing on Google.com,
Google?
I think, or YouTube. I think there's 2 searches that you can find information out on the internet. So
just give it a shot.
give it a shot.
Awesome. Well, these guys will be hanging around for more questions, but we've got our one final question. Your community is here. Your friends are here. What is one thing we can do to energize and support your work right now? Jay, kick us off.
Dramatic build-up. The biggest thing is we're looking for new hires. I think we're in the same boat as everybody, but we're looking for new hires, people that are looking to stand out and to go against the grain. If you're looking for the status quo, don't bother. We're looking for people that are looking to be the best and only the best. That doesn't mean that you have to be shooting for Nike right now, but that has to be your goal. You have to want to take this industry and vertically leap as high and high as far as possible. So those are the people that we're looking for. We're looking for interns. We're looking for full-time hires. We're looking for contractors. People that want to be a part of something great is what we're looking for.
Fantastic. Awesome. If you know somebody or if you're looking for a change, not EP interns, please don't leave us yet. Go talk to Jay.
I have business cards.
All right, Joe, what about you?
Give me a follow on the socials. I'm on the Facebook, Instagram, Tickety Talk. Engage with me, comment, share, like, all that fun stuff. Another thing you can support me is if you buy a sock or two, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, but yeah,
Somebody
the support
needs to buy
is huge.
Jay some socks.
Please
right?
help me out.
Who's gonna be-
Someone's got to help me out.
Somebody's gonna give him
My
a
sock
Covered
game
in
is weak.
ankles.
That is awesome. And Joe's producing great content on there. It's fun and entertaining. So if you are new to social media and want to practice getting your business up there, this is a great place to start to check out content. And then when you want the high, polished, awesome, in your face, go over to Jay. He'll brand your brand as well. Brand your brand? What is brand your brand, right? Awesome. Let's give it up for our speakers, Joe and Jay. Thanks, you guys.
And that's all we have for this week's StartupBREW Fargo. Thanks for listening in. StartupBREW Fargo is energized by Emerging Prairie, an organization dedicated to connecting and celebrating the Founders ecosystem. Thank you to Emerging Prairie's annual partners and Founders ecosystem partners. See you next time.
And go do something amazing.